other people in the same area because other people lived in the city, took their horses and stuff out there, and everybody's like a massive massive like Western movie with the all the livestock and the horses being driven to where there was no place, and we're down there, and then what happened was finally people got this idea. I know what we'll do. Just line all the cars up and put them in the center of the cars. That's how we kept all of our horses, our cattle, our pigs, and then and the other people all did the same thing. And we could have used some things back then because the cattle didn't have mark. They're domesticated cattle. They don't have brands on them, and the horses basically didn't have. They had ear tags, but separating them was an ungodly big mess. So that's why this is smart compared to what it used to be.
It is. It's very, very smart. So part of it is I mean, it's thinking through it.
Yeah.
And the other part is if you're having to leave an area and you're trying to stay in a house, I mean, ask your friends, relatives, check out hotels. I mean, it just pays to think ahead. The other part is, oh, go ahead.
You have to look for part of preparedness for your pets. If people will take their pets on vacation, they don't realize the majority of places don't allow pets. So you simply, be prepared. Generally speaking, the same places that will allow you to take pets in your community if there's a problem are the same places that will let you take pets when you're out on the road. It does you no good to have an emergency situation and where you have to leave the area entirely and then not be able to take your pet with you.
Well, the other part is we have a kennel for Monty, which there's a lot of people that may or may not believe in kennel training. But having a kennel, to me, is critical because that's what she's transported in. That's her safe zone in the car and helps to protect her.
We got Monty trained. I mean, she was mad at me like you could not believe. Mommy didn't like the noise. Mommy, and Mommy, she kept coming. I keep chasing her away. But I'm a vet. I knew. Monty kennel trained in one day. But
yeah, you did.
But you keep the mommy away while it's being done because and now those kennels, they're her homes. They're homes. I mean, she'll go in and lay down in front of one of the kennels and watch television.
Well, and I think a lot of people, they have kennels, but they only put their pets in there when they're going somewhere if they have one.
You can't do that. You got to get them trained. Monty knows that if the kennel is taken out of the house, she's going someplace.
Right, and that's her safety zone. Because, for example, if I have too many guests over here and Monty just wants to get away and for some reason they keep she goes to her kennel.
Yeah, she's got one of her kennels, the main show kennel.
Well, she does have multiples.
But her show kennel, though, has got a couple of water containers for her to drink out of. So her travel kennel is basically got sides that basically come up and a top that comes open. And it's really nice because you can stick her head up and look out or look through the open windows on it. But
well, and part of having the kennel in the house is that your pet learns that is their safety zone. It's not a punishment when you're going somewhere where they have to be contained. That's their home.
No, it's like little kids. Little kids will, mine basically, like they did put chairs and they get inside the chair, or they get a big box. Or the youngest one, she basically dumped all the clothes out of the clothes basket, and then that was her area. She'd get in it with her toys and then look out at everybody. She's about like this tall, and she climbed over the top with all her toys. Children, animals, like I said, children outgrow it, but if you don't have a safety zone for a pet, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
You also know where to go find it when you want to find it too.
And here's one of those things that you don't think about it. You might think about it for yourself. They talk about a buddy system, which you hear usually when you go on. This sounds like field trips with kids.
Yeah.
But actually, the idea is to exchange information with your neighbors that you trust, right, and that you can rely on, so that if something should happen and you are outside the area of the evacuation zone, you can contact them, and if they're there, they can assist.
Yeah. So, and then another thing is to have
that emergency kit.
The emergency kit, which is a very big, important thing for the kids.
Yeah, actually, the emergency kit is critical. Now, this is something that you should have not only for your pets, you should have some for yourself and your kids.
Yeah, there's your disaster preparedness kit, which is a smart thing.
Well, they always tell you that you should have photographs of you with your pets to prove ownership.
Yeah.
And actually, this is something where you might have copies.
Yeah.
Right? You keep the original
And
somewhere else.
I'm a vet. We used to paw print. We do a paw print to every, you know, that's what we're saying. You paw print the dog because the paw print's the same. It's like a human handprint. The paw is the same, you know. You look at the paw print.
So they can see relative size of your animal.
Yeah.
Photographs of your pet?
Yep. That would be with the paw print. And the name, it would have the paw print would have your veterinarian's information, the name of your dog, your contact number, and a paw print, just like a human.
Yeah.
They say, well, but if you put that, isn't your dog just going to change? Well, when you put it with a handprint of a little baby, when the baby's born, the footprint, isn't that going to change when they get older? Because they go from this size to this. It's basically the same. There are features on the pads that remain the same the entire life of the dog.
Yeah. And so those photographs, not only are they to help identify that that is your dog, they also use, in case something should happen, the lost pet flyers.
Yep.
Yeah. And the great part about, like this one right here, the barcode, is there's a picture of your dog on here, but they'll have a picture of your dog that's been uploaded.
Yep.
Or some of these other databases you might have, or a lot of times people have them on their cell phone. But the idea is to have something.
Actually, we've seen Spago Caprica walking around with his master, remember?
Yeah, that does look like a familiar dog.
Yeah.
Also, if you're relying on your cell phone photographs, they are not as high of a resolution, so they're
You take it with a point and shoot camera, you're better off.
They're little ones, and then by the time you're trying to do a lost and found picture of your dog.
Yeah, a good way to do this is a lot of pet stores have their days when they'll do this stuff for pet awareness and stuff. That you take your dog in and get a picture of it at that time.
Oh.
Then they'll do it and they'll give it to you, and you know, like in a passport size thing. So.
Oh, see, these are like some of the basic things. We talked about the kennel, also a leash.
Yeah, but it'd have a good leash, a good spare. Have a leash that. You know, basically in your emergency car, you should have a spare leash and a spare car. And
you should.
Yeah, and you should have another thing. You should have something to help settle your dog down that your dog really enjoys. That's basically in a dry nature.
Really, like dog treats.
Yeah, something like that they really would. You know, that they'll. You know, like my little one. I behave. That the dog, when he instantly sees that, oh, or the cat. You know, they forget there's a problem because they're basically they're all stomach.
They'll tell you that you should include a pet first aid kit.
Yep.
Now those you can buy at the pet store. You could probably get them from someplace like ASPCA.
Yeah.
There's a guidebook as well as a first aid kit.
Yeah, and the first aid kit should be, honestly, it should be a smell like the same as a human, a smelling salt. Because sometimes like. Because I know she'll tell you, I got her dog up one more time with the ammonia stuff. But the dog got up and he didn't die in the house because you never want a dog to die in your house. You're gonna get another dog. So, but they got to have something, a septic pencil. That's for cuts.
Oh, interesting.
Because you know you sit there and you put it over the little cut of the nick. And,
you can pick those. Most of these things you can buy at the pet store.
At the pet store.
Or actually, you just buy the kit and it should have it all in there.
Yeah, but those, if you can't find a kit, you can make a kit of your own. It's not that difficult. You know, something. You know, I would, in a sense, I'd almost go and get. If you can't find a pet kit, go get a human kit and toss out the stuff that is aimed towards the dog. You know.
Oh, yeah, you could.
Yeah.
Because you know, each household should have. You know, a personal emergency kit and a household emergency kit.
Yeah, because I had a big,
and sometimes they're all together.
No vets or any of those people, they don't use that black bag anymore.
They don't?
No, I had a metal case that had all this stuff in it.
Oh, also if your dog's on any medications,
yeah.
You should have those in there. Health records. This is just like a human, right?
Yeah, that's right. And a kitty litter. And basically, okay, here's a good one.
What?
If your dog is not outdoor trained but paper trained, bring along a newspaper.
Or more.
Yeah, so that they know you put your finger down and they'll go on that spot. Because A lot of dogs do not ever leave the house.
Oh, so they go out and they don't know where to go.
They don't know where to go, but they know the paper. And some dogs are actually litter trained to go, to go in. So if you the same, so it's not stupid. When it says kitty litter and litter, they mean litter for your dog. Because little small dogs will use kitty litter. I mean, dogs will climb up in the kitty litter and do their thing. The big ones basically will fire the house.
We also have, actually it's over there, I need to put it in the kit, it was taken out of Monty's stuff. It's the pet feeding dishes that are foldable.
Yeah, which are really good to have along with you.
And one's for water, and one is for...
One is water, one's for food, but they both zip together so you have them in the same unit. It's Monty's emergency. And here's another one they don't have on this list, is a small fan, battery-powered fan that you can attach to the side or front of your cage to keep the dog cooled down.
Oh, actually, that one was really good. We did get the from the dog shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or actually, you can get it at the pet store too. Also, paper towels, right?
And paper and plastic bags
to clean up after them.
Yeah.
Oh, and food. 2 weeks supply of food as well as water.
Yeah. Let's see, anything else? Okay, basically, I remember this is like I was talking to you about having the food they like. Also, if say like Monty likes Herbies.
Oh, bring some of your pets that you know that they like.
Yeah, so you put something in their emergency kit that you know that they're going to. But Monty's just basically if there's a Herbie, that's hers. So you can't go wrong with Monty.
No, you can't. Other things you might not think about, which you think of more for humans, is a flashlight.
Yeah, and it also says same
and a
thing.
radio.
Portable radio, extra batteries too.
And these are the portable radio. Yeah, it's solar helps, but I also like having the backup where we have the emergency radio where you can crank it up.
Yeah, actually we do have.
Or you can plug it in.
Actually, there's one over there. Yeah, we've got one of those. Actually, we got 2 of them. She's got one, and I got one. You can crank it. You got to remember to crank it because if it goes down, then you have to recharge it. But it works because you got a radio, you got a flashlight.
Yeah, I like that.
And you just charge it up yourself.
So you can self-charge it. I think it also takes batteries, or USB power.
Basically, it'll run off a USB. It'll also run off electrical plug-in. The problem is, well, why do I need a flashlight? Because big doggies are going to have to go potty. And you don't want to go walking in an area you don't know without a light to show you what's in front of you.
Like the road?
Yeah. So
also, one of these things that you may not think about is a blanket.
Yeah.
And that is if, during normal situations you may not have to be so concerned, but it helps to scoop up your pet if they get fearful, whether it's a cat or a dog.
Yeah. A good thing to do.
Or you can carry them.
To have something, a loose blanket or towel that they lay on out of the kennel. So as you're making the dash out or wherever you're going with your pet, you do pick the pet up with that at that time. Because the pet will feel more secure if it's got its little, like Linus, this blankie around it.
Well, and it's something that's familiar to them already.
It's got their smell on it.
Yeah.
So when they've got it wrapped on them, they're not as concerned. With Monty, it's simply you grab Monty's leash and Monty's ready to go. But Monty's not like all other dogs.
Yeah. And
actually, another emergency preparedness thing that I'm thinking about is to get your animal people trained.
Oh.
Because if it's used to being out among people, it's not as likely to get shook up in an emergency. Because when we trained Monty by taking her to Disneyland, and she got to be in a Disneyland kennel a couple of times, and after that, everybody patted her, everybody touched her, everybody did everything. She really hated being in that kennel. She basically threw everything in the kennel over her. When she got out, everybody loved her. She just basically, wow, the people. Nobody thinks ahead. They said, I know, like one of the members of my family basically kept getting dogs and then kept moving. So what happened was we ended up with all her pets. So because she, well, I can't take the dog with me. So we ended up with getting, too many animals, and at the same time because of that, because that's part of the preparedness,
One of the things I did see somewhere was that when you bring your animal, is bring one of those stakes.